Okay, so I did a thing. Many Christians have read through the entire Bible, but very, very few have written out the Bible. Understandably, because it's a really big book and writing takes a lot of time. But writing has a way of connecting you to a text and helping you remember it, helping you understand it, get inside it in a way that is not as easy when you are reading. So, yeah, I made this Scribal Bible. Here's the front side, sorry for the glare. Here's the back. And this is a Bible. It's in King James because King James is it's a very well accepted translation. Some people only take the King James, but just about everybody accepts it as a good and valid translation. It's also a beautiful translation. It's also copyright free, so I don't have to pay some exorbitant royalty to a different publishing house. So this is in the King James, and the font is in a light gray. The idea is that you can write directly on top of the lettering with a black pen. That keeps you from having to look back and forth between your Bible and notebook. So it saves you a lot of headache of keeping your place, and it saves you a lot of errors in recopying the same line or skipping a line or looking back to see how you spell a word. And here's where I've started some of this. I've already got two of the smaller books done. Here's Philemon, and this is what it looks like when you get going. A couple of quality of life improvements that I would recommend if you decided to do this is to highlight the book in one color so that you can see it when you're flipping through. Also, I put a square around verse numbers. I did that in red so that it stands out, easy to find places, and every time there's a new chapter, I highlight that with yellow. Another quality of life improvement, on the edge of the book, I don't know if you can see it in this camera, I have put a little black mark on where every book starts. So that way from the outside I can look here and I can flip to the little black mark I see, and there I have the book of John. And all I did was pull one page out at a time and just get a Sharpie and draw right on the edge. I'm thinking about extending that line to go across the entire page, but I don't know yet. Anyway, yeah, it's in 6 parts to make it a manageable size, but I had to make the font large enough that you could actually write it. So it's gonna be big, but I wanted to make it small enough that these aren't like 1,000 pages each because the Bible is big. So there is that. Let's see now. How long would it take you to write out the Bible? Because this is a long thing. Well, I did some math. If you wrote 1 chapter a day, it would take you 3 and about a quarter years. That's actually very manageable. If you wrote a verse a day, very easy, but it would take you 85 years. So maybe you want to write more than a verse a day. If you want to finish it in 1 year, which is a big task, you would write 85 verses a day or about 3 and a quarter chapters, which is doable, but it's a big commitment when you're actually writing it out. Sorry. If you want to finish in 2 years, you could write out 42 verses or a little over 1.5 chapters. That's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to write 2 chapters a day, and then if I end up, missing a day here and there, I'll have a little extra built in. Or if you want to finish in 3 years, that's 28 verses or just over 1 chapter a day, which is very doable. My goal with this, once I finish the whole thing, is to clip the spiral binding off and put them all together. I'll use these handy pre-existing holes. I'll take the cover page off, but to take these handy pre-existing holes and use them for rebinding the book, I'll get some waxed thread and sew it through the holes to bind the whole thing together. And then I want to put a leather cover around it. And then this can be a family keepsake that I can pass down to my kids. Because who has a handwritten Bible, right? This really, it makes me appreciate the early Christians that were copying this stuff by hand. Wow. First of all, they have to have a steady hand for the penmanship. They have to have so much concentration because they're looking back and forth, to copy the text, the commitment, the time involved in it. So it's a really unique experience that I know that most people will not be interested in, and that's fine. This is not something that you have to do as a Christian. But some few people would really be interested in this. So I have made this available. It's on lulu.com. I will put a link here if you're interested in this. I've put the price as low as I can. Well, I make $1 off of every book, which I think is pretty reasonable for the editing and the formatting work that went into it. Yeah, but I've got the cost pretty much as low as it can be so that it's as accessible to as many people as possible. If you are interested in that, or if you know somebody that is, share the link with them. And now we have something available for people that want to write out the Bible to make it as convenient and possible as possible. Yeah. Thanks for watching.